Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Bullshit Busters. This is your host, as usual. I have some good news, some optimistic news, some positive news for once. Um, People are initiating plans, the federal government and state governments alike, including my local government, are initiating plans to begin to reopen America, and they're also accommodating medical advice within these plans to do so safely. Um, And today, I'm not busting bullshit so much as I am stating the good news. In case you guys are not aware, the federal government detailed a plan, a phase by phase plan, that would accommodate for the reopening of America and allow people to get back to work, allow people to resume life as normal. It would just take our cooperation, it would take our unity as opposed to our division. Um, I, for one, this is not a political thing for me. A pandemic where people are getting hurt, people are getting sick, and people are ultimately dying, no matter how small the number is comparison to the infection rate. Um, I don't want to see people die. I don't want to see people dying anymore. I don't want to see people getting sick anymore. We're approaching hurricane season for those in Florida, like I am. For those in Florida, we're approaching hurricane season, and we need to get this under control so that we can get ready for that. Because the last thing we need to do is have ongoing, stretched out pandemic going on in the midst of hurricane season because people decided that they didn't want to cooperate and do their part to not only keep them and their community safe, but to also just make the reopening of America more swift. We need swift action. We need cooperation. And I'm glad that the government is finally deciding and detailing a plan to do this. Now, this article comes from my local government. Their plan actually reflects the federal plan in a very almost mirror-like fashion with some minor accommodations and differences. But here we go. This is talking about a phase-by-phase plan, a three-phase plan. It's going to take place over the course of roughly the year, a year. And here's the thing, and I know that sounds like a long time, but that's not complete and total lockdown until that point. It's slowly going to be building back to normal, and then once that the year is generally done, then we're talking about being back to full swing normal. Uh, so here we go. The current phase that they haven't initiated yet it's phase one. It's called guarded optimism. And ultimately, what that phase will entail is the reopening of businesses with the same general restrictions as we see today, with social distancing, wearing the masks, trying to protect each other, trying to stay safe, sanitizing things as you can, washing your hands. Those are things you should be doing anyway. Washing your hands and sanitizing, objects. You should be doing that either way. Just so you know, just so you're aware. Um, but that's phase one. They said they haven't began phase one yet because there is still a rise in COVID cases in the city and in the state. We're experiencing record high numbers in regards to infection rate per day. And we saw a jump in our own local cases in Flagler County by 28 cases in one day, just due to the testing. And that was out of 74 tests done. 28 people were confirmed infected and sick with COVID. Um, and that's, it's kind of crazy. My city is also looking to try and get open testing as quickly as possible. That's going to be a key factor in how quickly we get this under control. So I think that the fact that they're pushing so hard and so fast to try and get the testing done, to try and make testing more available, I think that's going to be the key factor here, and I applaud them for their efforts. There have been many things I criticized the city on in the past, as well as the government of the state of Florida, but in this particular instance, they're doing the right thing. And I agree with what they're doing in the fact that they're pushing for the most testing possible as soon as possible. That's number one. So phase one comes as soon as we see a 14-day straight decline in cases per day. And then once that happens, once we hit a 14 straight day decline with case count, we will ultimately see the phase one kick into place. And that is, like I said, guarded optimism. The phase one would entail everybody maintaining their social distancing, having the masks, taking the protective measures still, but more businesses being able to open back up and resume internal operations, in-store operations, for more than just the sake of the, takeout only, carry out only, businesses, essential businesses only. We'd see more of the businesses opening back up, even the ones that are non-essential, just in a matter of a safe fashion doing so, which would give people back their jobs. That's a wonderful thing, because the people who are working there don't count among the count of people who can be in there. So that would mean everyone would be able to go back to work and start doing what they need to do. Or, hey, maybe you'd be able to, if you're looking to transition careers, I'm sure there'd be places opening up that need help, that need new help because people either quit or, were unable to return. So definitely check out, if you're looking to get a new job anyway, maybe apply for a place that needs help that's different from what you were doing. So I completely agree with this phase. We still need to be cautious. We still need to do what we need to do. Phase two, strategic community reintegration, what that details, what that's going to ultimately entail based on the video of their conference. That's going to entail a slightly less restrictive social distancing, in the sense that there can be 50 person groups in any given area, as long as they're maintaining the personal protective measures like the masks and they're not causing a disturbance in public. But that would mean people can congregate around and kind of do what they need to do and spend time with each other, and nobody would be as distant. And even though I would suggest keeping a slight distance between you and another person, just for the sheer factor of personal space, besides that, it would be almost back to normal, in the sense that more businesses would have more traffic and more people coming in. People could sit at restaurants again at a limited level. Restaurants could probably open at like half capacity. And people would start being able to kind of sit around and do things and enjoy the fresh air of being out and about, and, going to grab a cup of coffee, and we'd be able to start seeing that happen again, which is good. That's good. And then the last phase, the lift of community restrictions, which would come at the complete and total sign that the COVID incident is under control, no new cases, no new deaths, no new infections, no problems. The moment we see that, the moment we can see a complete and utter lift of restrictions that allow us to do whatever the hell we want for as long as we want. And to me, that's good news. That's awesome news. And this is directly reflectant of the federal government's plan to reopen the broad term America. They're telling people we need to start seeing a decline in cases for a 14-day straight decline. We need to start seeing people kind of reintegrate into businesses, get people back to work. We need to get people going again. We need to start stimulating the economy, get people spending money, get these businesses back beefed up so that they can rehire all the employees. People come back. People can come back from furlough. People can come back from work-at-home conditions if they have that. I, for one, will be looking for a transition of career, looking for new opportunities that arise around town to support local businesses, see if any local businesses need my help. I'd be more than happy to take on any kind of job that would regard a local business that needs my help, for sure. Just to keep that business going, just to help them keep up with the influx of people that are going to be so happy that things can go back to at least somewhat normal for now. And we need to take the positive news as it comes. In an uncertain time like this, we can't be acting irrationally. We can't be acting based on fear. We can't be acting based on paranoia, and we can't, and that goes for both ends. You can't insist that you lock yourself in your house forever, but you also can't insist that you blatantly break safety regulations because you want to be spiteful and you want to be greedy. That's not okay. Neither are okay, because those are both extremes. The fact is, we should be maintaining, to the best of our ability, the restrictive social guidelines, but still opening businesses for operation, recreational businesses, non-essential businesses. We need to start seeing them open again. And that all depends on us. That initial 14-day phase, that is all it's going to take, 2 to 3 weeks. Just avoid risk as much as possible. Wear protective gear. I mean, if anybody needs help with masks, I'll do my best, like locally speaking, or among my friends. I'll do my best. I have some. We have some. But, it's going to be important. It's definitely going to be important that we all do our part. That we all sit through this and hunker down and, try to go out only when you need to. Try to maintain social distance. The guidelines are there. They have tape marks on the floor showing how far apart you should be from any given person. And we need to start being responsible and just doing our part. You people are talking about you want to reopen America. Well, then let's do it. Let's get down to the business, to the nitty gritty, and get it done. Let's do this. Let's work together and get into phase 1, so that we can start opening businesses and we can start working again, and you can start going out again and, spending your money where you want to allocate to recreational businesses and essential businesses alike. That you can get back to work, or even if you're retired, you can start enjoying the simple things in life again. You can go get your cup of coffee and sit down and enjoy it instead of having to be told to leave and just take it out only or drive through only. You can go sit at a park. You can go sit at the beach for a little while. You can go do those things. That's going to be good news, good things, but it all depends on us. It all depends on our ability to be responsible and avoid as much risk as possible. The reason, it's not even about the death count or how deadly it is, it's that they want to get the spread of this under control. A lot of people are sitting there going, well, people are going to die either way. Let people go without restriction. That's a very selfish mindset, for one, because you don't know how many people are immunocompromised, especially in a city that consists of mostly elderly people with potential underlying medical conditions. You can't think like that. You can't think like that. It's not about that. It's not about that at all. We need to consider everybody's safety, but we also need to start working again, and we need to start doing what we need to do. There's a balance to be had, guys. There is a middle ground. There is a rational center in this, and that is, yes, reopen the businesses, but still maintain the social guidelines. It's not that hard, because the sooner we get past phase 1, the sooner we can enter into phase 2, and we would see a lot more of a normalcy than in phase 1. And like I said, that this whole initial phase, getting into phase 1 and then getting past phase 1, relies entirely on us as people. It has nothing to do with our government, nothing to do with anything of that sort. If you're so desperate and you're so anxious to reopen America, and you want to reopen it like I want to reopen it, then cooperate and do what you need to do. That's all it takes. That's all it takes, guys. And I'm just asking that everybody be as optimistic as possible. This is not a time for divisiveness. This is not a time to make this political. There is nothing political about this. It is the American people need to stand together, as we should always be doing. The American people need to stand together and make this happen. And avoid going to, irrational and fear-based rallies, because those are irrational courses of action. You know that this pandemic is affecting people. It doesn't rely on your belief. If you believe that it's fake and you believe it's a hoax, it doesn't care. It doesn't matter. You can still get infected. You can still get sick. You can still face the potential for death in that regard. Nothing and no one cares what you believe. It is not a matter of belief. It's a matter of the facts. And the facts are that even Donald Trump is being cooperative with medical experts in this time and advising people to do the right thing, stay safe, and keep things going in a safe manner so that America can reopen safely. And if you don't want to believe medical experts, if you don't want to believe scientists, if you don't want to believe the federal government or the regulations put in place, then whatever may happen to you is on you, but it's not fair that you pose a risk to the public. So just be aware that you can be arrested for spitefully causing risk to the public by your own selfish means. You can be arrested. It is now a criminal offense. So just be aware of the fact that our police officers will be patrolling for that. They'll be looking for that. They'll be looking for people who are trying to pose a risk to the society. I'm also seeing a lot of the older people around here going, "We're gonna leave. We're tired of this. We're gonna exodus. We're gonna exodus out of the city," and they're using the hashtag "Let my people go," like this is some heroic thing they're doing. It's like, shut the fuck up, you fucking fossils. Okay, I have no problem with older people for the most part, especially ones that are respectable. But these people are not respectable. These people are sitting here complaining and whining when they can't even get past the initial phase. They can't even cooperate enough to allow us to get into the reopening period. They say that this is about reopening America. No, it's not. This is about you being angry and you not getting exactly what you want because you want to reopen immediately without restrictions and have everybody just suffer the consequences. That's not how this works. You don't get what you want. You can't have your cake and eat it too. We're going to reopen America. We're going to do it safely. It relies on you. So now you have no excuse. You have no excuse to whine and complain. You can either choose to cooperate or you are complicit with America not opening back up. You are the reason America is not opening back up. If you're not going to sit there abiding by the rules that we need to abide by for a short time, a very short time in relative to what it's been so far and what it could be if you don't cooperate, then maybe you should just be arrested. I don't know. Maybe you should leave. A lot of the elderly people around here, especially the wealthy ones, have always told the younger tax-paying people, the ones that actually contribute to society, that if you don't like it here, if you don't like the way things run, if you don't like the way the government says, then maybe you should leave. Maybe you should just go somewhere else and leave. Well, now the tables have turned. Now the government is standing firm in their choice to do things safely, to abide by the guidelines, to reopen America, yes, but to do so with caution. And they're literally outraging over this, saying they're going to exit us out of the city, out of the area, out of Flagler County. They're going to go to Georgia. They're going to go to all these other places. And to you guys, I say this. If you're going to do that, instead of sitting there rallying the streets and causing a problem for the public and causing a risk for yourselves and others, I'd rather you do that. If you don't like what the city is doing and you don't like the regulations they're putting in place, you're more than welcome to leave. You're more than welcome to leave. And let us do what we need to do. And let us get back to work. And let us be safe. You're welcome to go risk your life however you please. You're a free American, as you say. You're a free American. You go do that. You take that choice. You go risk yourself. I personally welcome your ability to exit us out of here. Go ahead and exit us. Go ahead and sell your house and leave. In fact, you won't be able to sell it because the housing market is terrible. But go ahead and just leave. Buy a new property somewhere else and go. You're welcome to do so. Nobody's stopping you. So go ahead and do it. I'll conclude with this. Everyone in America needs to understand. This is not a matter of what you feel like, what your feelings are. This is a matter of the sooner we get things under control, the sooner we all cooperate, the sooner we all do what we need to do, the sooner we can open America back up. For the people that are sitting there saying, well, I'm not going to go back to work either way. I'm not going to go back to work no matter what. I'm not going to go back to work until we see 0 cases. Let them do that. Let those people do that. Let the people who want to be extreme, on the other hand, and gather in groups without any restriction and no masks and no social distancing, let them do that. Let them get arrested. Let them get thrown in jail for endangering the public and bioterrorism. In a worst case scenario, if they do have COVID, you can be condemned with bioterrorism. And that's a pretty fucking... terrorism is a pretty serious crime. And it's met with federal force, not just local punishment. It's met with federal punishment. So I'm sure you don't want that. With that being said, let those people get arrested. Let them be irrational. Let them try to rally. In fact, I'm going to super conclude with this statement. I'm going to actually finalize my video. One of the local officials in Palm Coast / Flagler County, and I'm going to call him out on his shit. His name is Joe Mullins. Ever since the restrictions were put in place, he's been sitting there whining and complaining that he can't get what he wants because he's a rich, entitled piece of donkey shit. And he has no understanding of what it means to be safe, to implement the safe opening of America. He is not leader worthy. He is not worthy of his position in office. He would sooner sacrifice his general constituents to the pandemic than have people be safe and have people do the right thing and open things appropriately. Joe Mullins was talking about opening up for a rally. He was going to try and rally the people of Palm Coast in protest, saying reopen Palm Coast without restrictions, reopen America, da-da-da-da. The same ignorant shit that everyone else is doing, based out of fear, based out of irrationality. And like I said, to a degree it's understandable. I understand why people are angry and afraid. And in these uncertain times, what we need to do is not be angry and rallying and do what exactly we're being told not to do. That's not the course of action to take. And so I'm going to propose that if Joe Mullins is going to rally and he is going to try and pose a protest, that he and everyone involved gets either arrested or otherwise punished to some degree, and that if Joe Mullins rallies people, even if he's not physically there to participate, if he causes a rally, I want him removed from office, because he clearly has no intention on serving the people and their best interest and their well-being. He clearly doesn't care. He's such an entitled, whiny piece of shit that he can't even sit down for 14 days and just shut the fuck up for 2 seconds. He's causing paranoia. He's causing panic. He's causing people to act irrationally. He's calling on people to act irrationally. I propose, this is an open request to the mayor of Palm Coast, that you guys discuss among yourselves in the government, and I'm not sure how Flagler Beach government varies in comparison to Bunnell and Flagler County, but I suggest you talk to your peers on the other side in Flagler Beach and in the Flagler area, and propose to remove Joe Mullins out of office. He has done enough. He has said enough irrational things. He has incited enough irrationality and fear out of people. People saying that they need to exodus or that they need to protest. He's incited enough of that. At this point, he needs to be removed from office. He's not fit to lead anybody, and he needs to, be told to cease his actions, because this is inappropriate, highly inappropriate. And I hope you take that into consideration, Mayor, to the mayor of Palm Coast and Bunnell, and if there's a different one for Flagler Beach, then Flagler Beach. All of you guys need to take this into consideration in regards to his actions and call him out on it. You really, really do. So, regardless, I thank you to the local government for actually implementing a plan to reopen Flagler County, and it is directly reflective of the Reopen America plan, and I'm all for it. Thank you guys for actually putting a plan in action and allowing us at least a course to take. Otherwise, thank you all for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. I will catch you on the flip side in the next video. I hope you're all staying safe out there. I will catch you guys later. Bye-bye.